high rainfall, such as rainforests, have adapted to nutrient-leached soil due to excessive precipitation. As a result, these rainforest plant species may have shallow root systems to absorb nutrients from decaying leaves and tend to grow quickly and vertically to maximize sunlight exposure. Rainforest plants also have leaves with pointed tips to facilitate water dripping off the surface, preventing potential bacterial or fungal infections. The adaptations observed in each species match the climatic conditions of the area. Cold-tolerant plants can withstand freezing temperatures by moving water out of their cells to prevent the cell from bursting when frozen, or produce antifreeze compounds to prevent the cell from freezing. Many plants also undergo senescence or dormancy, shedding their leaves and entering a dormant state during cold periods. Structural adaptations, such as downward-sweeping branches of conifer trees, also evolved to deal with snow accumulation. Plant species that evolved in arid environments, such as deserts, tundras, chaparrals, or salt flats, developed various strategies to survive in dry conditions. The focus of this book is on another adaptation that has evolved in plants that inhabit dry areas, and that is succulents. Succulent plants have developed specialized cells and tissues that store water. These specialized water storage tissues may occur in the succulent plant's leaves, stem, and roots, often imparting a swollen or fleshy appearance to the plant. The cacti are probably the most well-known group of succulent plants. All cacti have evolved to store water in specialized stem tissue. Regardless of the size or shape of a cactus, the stem makes up most of the plant body. For example, although they are quite distinctive in appearance, the flat pads of the prickly pear and the long, tall spires of a saguaro are both comprised of specialized stem tissues. The stems on cacti are modified leaves that have evolved to minimize water loss, prevent herbivory, provide shade, and direct raindrops down toward the base of the plant, similarly to how pointed leaf tips help shed water off the surface of leaves in wet climates. Other dry climate adaptations will vary by species. For example, some succulents may have deep taproot systems, extra thick waxy coatings on their leaves, or pubescence to minimize water loss. Some succulent plants shed their leaves and go dormant during dry periods, while others have smaller or reduced leaves to limit transpiration. Succulent species also often have unique pollination and flowering strategies, demonstrating the complex interactions between the plant and its environment. For example, many succulent species produce very fragrant flowers. This is likely because fragrance is especially useful in hot, sunny climates where the fragrance molecules will quickly volatilize and spread rapidly to attract pollinators. Some succulent species, including many cacti and some Echeveria, bloom at night to attract nocturnal pollinators like bats and moths. Night-blooming plants often have white or pale-colored flowers to stand out in the dark and may also release strong scents to attract pollinators. Some succulent plants have developed unique floral structures to facilitate pollination. For example, Orbea has flowers that mimic rotting meat in appearance and odor to attract carrion flies for pollination. The long tubular flowers of agave are adapted for pollination by bats or hummingbirds. The care and cultivation of succulents. Most of the succulents included in this book are relatively low maintenance and will thrive with proper care. All succulents are adapted to thrive in arid climates. However, not all dry climates are the same. Latitude and altitude are significant factors that influence the properties of arid regions. For example, scorching hot deserts like the Sahara near the equator can exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 43 degrees Celsius in the summer months, and frigid deserts like the Gobi, located farther north of the equator, can drop as low as -22 degrees Fahrenheit, -30 degrees Celsius in the winter. Each arid climate type supports different plant and animal species uniquely adapted to these conditions. The variations in temperature, precipitation, and seasonality shape the ecosystems and biodiversity within these diverse arid environments. These variations should be considered when developing a plan to care for and cultivate a specific succulent species. Basic care considerations. Soil. Succulents require well-draining soil that mimics a naturally arid environment.